Hello students, welcome to SGC online classes. This is Guru Rajan taking lecture number 4 in biology. So this is the fourth lecture we are going to see here. I started with chapter number 5, the morphology of flowering plants we have seen. In the morphology of flowering plants means angiosperms, you may be remembering. In angiosperms, when we observe the external appearance, we could come across root, stem, leaves, inflorescence, flower, fruit, seed, like that, various parts we can see. Among those 7 important parts of a typical angiosperm plant, we started about root system in the previous class. So about the root I was telling you in the previous class. So as far as root is concerned, we have seen about general characters of the root, general characteristics of a root system we have seen. Then I told you the major functions of the root also. Apart from that, we have seen regarding the types of root also. In the previous class, I told you about taproot system, fibrous root system and adventitious root system, like that. In addition to that, in the previous class, now I was telling you about the regions of root also. When we take a typical angiosperm root, it can be differentiated into 3 areas or 3 regions actually. Towards the tip of the root or apex of the root. Remember, in a root system, this part is called as tip of the root or otherwise apex of the root. In this apex of the root, we come across a thimble-like structure, otherwise a covering we come across here. This covering is called as root cap. Remember this point, it is called root cap. This root cap will be protecting one area known as region of meristematic area or region of meristematic tissue. What are meristems? They are the basic type of plant tissue. They have got a thin cell wall. They have got a dense cytoplasm. And a very important point of or very important character of meristem is they are able to undergo rapid cell division. That is the point. They can undergo rapid mitosis and produce more and more cells. That is the importance of meristematic tissue. Just above the meristematic area, we come across one more region. I told you in the previous class about this also. Here, the new cells produced by the meristem will elongate in size. They will start elongating, they will become enlarged actually. This is called as region of cell elongation, we can say. They undergo growth, they further increase in the size. That elongated cells can be found in the next to the region of meristem. In textbooks, there is a word called as proximal. Okay. Remember this word, proximal. Proximal to the meristematic region, we have cell elongation region. What is proximal? Nearer. Nearer to the meristematic area, we have got cell elongation area. Above the cell elongation, towards the base of the root, this part is called base of the root, remember. So towards the base, we come across another area called region of cell differentiation. What is meant by differentiation? All the elongated cells will start to perform some unique functions by themselves. They will start to perform their own function. Such a kind of cells are called differentiated cells, we can say. What is this differentiation? Due to differentiation, we get permanent tissues from the meristem. Permanent tissue means, in the previous class I told you, parenchyma, collenchyma, sclerenchyma, xylem, phloem, like that various tissues are formed in this region. All of them are derived from what? Meristem only. That meristem will undergo a process called differentiation and they will become differentiated cell. So what is the third region of a typical root? It is called region of cell differentiation. In this region of cell differentiation, we can come across many unicellular projections here. Remember that word, unicellular. These many unicellular projections arising from the region of differentiation, not from elongation, not from meristem. That unicellular, those unicellular structures are called root hair, we can say. Dear students, remember, root cap is meant for protection, protecting the tip of the root while penetrating into the soil. What is the function of root hair? Root hair is meant for absorption of water and minerals. So absorption is the function of root hair, whereas protection is the function of root cap. Very important 5-mark question. Sometimes even in NEET and CET exams also, questions can be asked based on these regions. So you have to remember root cap, root tip, meristem, elongation, differentiation, root hair, base of the root, like the various terminologies, various labeling you have to remember related to structure of a root. So types of root we have seen, structure of root we have seen. In today's class, let me explain you about very important, another important aspect of the root system here. What is that means? Modifications of a root we are going to discuss here. Please listen. In the root, I am going to tell you about modifications of the root system or modification of the root we are going to discuss here. Remember, what is meant by modification? Badlavane anta antivalla, aa badlavane hesarenantive modification. Changes occurring in the typical root will be called as modification. What is the water? Why they should undergo change? Remember, there are taproot, fibrous root, adventitious root. Those roots can undergo some change. They can undergo some modification in order to survive in the environment. For surviving in the environment, they will start undergoing certain changes. Those changes are called modification. Those changes can be morphologically visible also. By seeing the root, you can say it has undergone some change, some modification like that. Such a type of modification we are going to study here. What is the purpose of modification? It is meant for adaptation to the environment. To the environment, how they are adapting. For the change in the environment or for some special function, they have to undergo some modification. That modification helps for adaptation. So it helps for survival for the root or plant, we can say. Now remember, main function of the root I told you already. Main function is fixation of the plant into the soil. Second one is what is that? Absorption of water and mineral. In addition to that, they will be performing some special function also. Remember, these special functions or modification need not be found in all the plants. They will be exhibited by certain plants only. So we are studying them separately in the modification or in the morphology of root. So let me tell you about modifications of the root. Why they should undergo modification? Because to adapt to the environment, adaptation to the environment. For what purpose they will undergo this one modification means it may be for the sake of storage. For storing the food material, extra food material, roots will exhibit some modification. First point. Leaves are performing food or producing food by doing photosynthesis. If excess food is produced by the leaf, where they will be stored in the plant means roots can store that excess food. Not only root, of course in stem also food can be stored. But some roots are involved in storage actually. Mainly, taproot will undergo some modification for the sake of what is that? Storage. Remember, taproot will undergo some storage modification. And in addition to that, adventitious roots will also undergo some modification for the storage purpose. So for storage purpose, you can come across taproot modification as well as adventitious root modification also. Let me tell you about taproot modification in the beginning. Later we will see some other examples also. In your textbook, 3 such modifications for storage has been discussed. 3 modifications with related to storage have been discussed here. What are those 3 modifications? Please remember, listen here. There is a condition called as conical root we have to see. In the practical classes, you will be observing chart and you will be seeing the diagrams of this. I will draw the diagram here. Okay, conical root. One type of root modification for the purpose of storage is called conical root. What is this conical root means? Remember, in such cases, the root will be bulged at the base. The base of the root, taproot will be bulged like this because of storing of food material. Later, it will undergo gradual tapering towards the tip. The root will be bulged at the base here. I told you already, this is the tip, this is the base. So in the base there will be bulging of the root because of storage of food. Later it will undergo further tapering continuously like this. You might have observed this type of root system in carrot. You may be remembering, carrot is the best example for conical root. Remember, carrot, gajri, we are telling that gajri, it is an example for conical root actually. This is a taproot, primary root. From this primary root you could have observed some secondary, tertiary roots also like this. This is a conical root where the root will become cone shaped. Cone shaped means the base will be bulged whereas the remaining part will be narrowing gradually. That is called conical root. Example, carrot. For carrot, what is the biological name you have to remember? Carrot, it is conical root. This conical root is biologically, or carrot is biologically called as Daucus carota. Remember, Daucus carota. This is the biological name of carrot. Genus name, species name we are telling. It is exhibiting a part called as conical root modification. Taproot system only. Okay. So conical root or taproot is meant for storage. Let me come across a second type of modification here. In the second type of course, here you will come across the stem of the plant with leaf and other things here. Okay. This is the conical root. Second modification for the purpose of storage can be found in the form of fusiform root we can say. Let me explain you the second type of modification. Fusiform root it can be called. Fusiform root, it will be spindle shaped in nature. The spindle shaped nature or spindle shaped root will be called as fusiform root. What is the shape of this root? You can understand here. At the base it will be narrow. Then at the middle it will start swelling like this. In the middle of the root there will be swelling, and then it will be gradually tapering here. So in the middle there will be gradual swelling, and at the base there will be some narrowness, and towards the tip it will further become narrow. Here above the ground, you can come across leaf system and other things also. You could have observed this will be white in color. You might have observed this type of structure called fusiform root. Best example for this is here primary, secondary roots and all can be seen. This is conical root. This one is what is that? Fusiform root. What is the speciality of fusiform root? It has got centrally bulged portion. On both sides there will be narrowing tip like that. This fusiform root, it can be found in the case of radish. Remember, radish is the best example for fusiform root. Mullangi antivala, that mullangi or that radish is the best example for fusiform root. So, let me tell you the second example here. That is radish. Okay, remember, in this radish, it is belonging to which form? Fusiform root, we can say. What is the biological name of this radish? Means Raphanus sativum, it can be called. Radish will be otherwise known as Raphanus sativum. Okay. Raphanus, genus name is called Raphanus. There are many species. One of them is called as what is that? Sativum. There may be pink color radish, there may be white color radish, different varieties. Raphanus sativum is called fusiform. Do you get the difference between conical and fusiform? In conical root, the base and what is that? Center will be bulged. In fusiform root, center will be bulged, but base and tip will be narrower in nature. This is carrot, this is radish. Remember. Let me come to the third type of modification for the purpose of storage. I am talking about tap roots only so far. Still I did not talk about adventitious root. Some fibrous root can also undergo storage modification. Let us complete this taproot system at present. The third modification we can come across here is known as napiform. Napiform modification, napiform root, it can be called, remember. Of course, in your textbook, these terminologies are not given. But by learning this terminology, you can remember the shape, that's all. For that purpose, remember, in competitive exams, there can be these terminologies asked. Conical, fusiform, napiform, like that. Let me come to the napiform root here. In the case of napiform root, the base of the root will be bulged and slightly, otherwise abruptly it will be tapering like this. Only the base will be, what is that, bulged here. Then suddenly or abruptly it will undergo tapering like this. There is no gradual tapering. In these cases there will be gradual narrowing. Here there is no gradual narrowing. Suddenly they will narrow, suddenly they will, what is that, undergo tapering here. So inside this there will be lot of food material stored. They may produce some secondary, tertiary root also. This is called napiform root. What is the example for napiform root means? You could have come across turnip, we are telling. Okay. The best example for this is turnip, we can say. Turnip. This turnip is coming under napiform root. Remember, the third one, example I am writing first. Then the root modification I am writing here. That is called, what is that? Napiform root, we can say. And for this turnip, it is having base only bulged more. Center and tip will be further tapering here. Make note of these 3 points, which is coming under storage for taproot system. Carrot, radish and turnip. Carrot, Daucus carota. Radish, it is Raphanus sativum. I'll tell you about a turnip. Just make note of this. I'll tell the biological name of turnip now. Okay? Just write. Okay, I think it is completed. For Napiform, it belongs to a genus called Brassica. Of course, species name we can see later. It is biologically, otherwise what is that? Simply it is called Brassica, remember. So Brassica, some species name is there. This is conical root, fusiform root, napiform root. All of them are the modification from the taproot only. Okay. Let us come to adventitious root modification with reference to storage. I am going to tell you here. Let me rub this one. We will continue. Okay. So what is modification means? Changes occurring in the morphology of root for adaptation to the environment. That is called modification. Tap roots can first purpose for modification is storage. Tap root can undergo storage modification. Example for that is conical root, fusiform root, napiform root, remember. Adventitious roots can also undergo some modification. Of course, in your textbook or according to NCERT syllabus, there is no detailed account about adventitious root modification. But we will study some more examples here for the sake of competitive exams. Remember, as far as adventitious roots are concerned, they will also undergo storage modification. What are those storage modifications? Depending upon their shape, they can be called as, they can be differentiated as moniliform root, we can say. Moniliform root. Moniliform roots, they will be simply having, the root system will be having some sac-like structures where food can be stored here. Bead-like structure. That bead-like structure is called as moniliform, we can say. Some type of grasses like cyanodon. Okay. Cyanodon grass, it is a type of grass we can come across moniliform type of food storage. There are some other type of adventitious root also, which are called as fasciculated root, you have to remember. Fasciculated root. In the case of fasciculated root, there will be bunches of roots arising from the tip. Of course, it is a type of fibrous root only. There will be bunches of roots arising like this, and they will be showing the food storage. This food storage will be in the form of some type of bag-like structures here. Those bag-like structures will also be occurring in bunches only. This is called fasciculated root. For fasciculated root, example is given in your textbook also. What is that? Asparagus. Remember, it is a type of medicinal plant also, and a type of vegetable it can be called. This asparagus comes under fasciculated root. There are many other examples we can come across with reference to storage, adventitious root storage. There are root tubers, which is very common one, which we have observed in sweet potato, remember. Root tuber. Here, single root will undergo storage. They will attain some indefinite shape actually. There is a tuber root will be having no definite shape. That is the speciality of root tuber, remember. This root tuber you can come across in sweet potato. Okay, sweet potato, not ordinary potato. In sweet potato, genus gedde, we are telling no that genus gedde, okay, that sweet potato, it is having root tuber. Here single root will be having irregular shape like this, brown in color. They will store large amount of what is that, starch in them. Sweet potato it can be called. Brown in color, but inside it will be white, which can be edible in nature. That is a root tuber, no definite shape. In conical, fusiform and napiform, we came across definite shapes. But here there is no definite shape, so it is called a root tuber. There will be a stem tuber, which we will be studying later. But this is called a root tuber, no definite shape. It is known as sweet potato. Remember, this can be three important modifications found in the adventitious root for the purpose of storage. I did not complete modification of root still. Just I told you one purpose for modification, that is called storage only. Let us go for some other modification, for some other benefits here. So for taproot modification, I told you three examples: conical, fusiform and napiform. For adventitious root, I told you three examples: moniliform, fasciculated and root tuber like that. In addition to that, there are many types. There are some root which will be like a palm shaped, palmate root we are telling. There are certain roots which will be having legumes in it. You may be knowing leguminous roots we are telling. In leguminous roots, nitrogen can be stored. Protein can be synthesized. By using that nitrogen, amino acid protein can be synthesized. They are called leguminous roots. What are these leguminous roots? They will have a special structure called root nodules. Remember, where do we find root nodules? In pulses we come across root nodules. Remember, pulses means we can come across what are the different type of dal varieties. Tur dal, channa dal, like that different dal varieties are there. They will be having in their root system, we can come across, this will be the adventitious or fibrous root system. They belong to monocot, I told you in the previous class also. In that adventitious, fibrous root system, we can come across nodules like this. Remember, in these nodules, some bacteria, useful bacteria can survive. They will fix the nitrogen from the atmosphere directly. This is called root nodule. Those conditions, they are called as leguminous root, we can say. Leguminous root having root nodule, useful for nitrogen fixation. That nitrogen will be useful for producing amino acid. Those amino acids will be helpful for producing proteins. So protein rich plant, they are pulses. How they are becoming protein rich means because of the structure called root nodule present in the root system. These are example for adventitious storage modification. Of course, student, this is not given in your textbook except for asparagus. Asparagus comes under fasciculated root, where a bunch of root with some bunches of nodules like structure will be present. But here single nodules on each root it will be present. Make note of this adventitious and fibrous root modification also. With this, storage modification is completed. I will come for second type of modification now. Okay? Please make note. Okay, students, let us go for another type of root modification. The first type was based on storage. Now I will tell you about another type of modification here. Roots can undergo modification even for the purpose of support also. Not only for storage but also for support they can exhibit modification. Please listen. As far as support is concerned, we will come across two major type of root system here. One type is called as prop root, we can say, prop root. Second type of root is called as stilt root, we can say here. Prop root and stilt root are the two major types involved in support. For storage, I told you fusiform, napiform and conical like that. Fasciculated, moniliform, root nodule, tuber like that, various examples. For support, there will be prop root and stilt root we are going to discuss here. Remember students, prop root can be found in banyan tree actually. The banyan tree, it is exhibiting prop root system actually. All of you might have observed the banyan tree. The banyan tree, Alamaranth antivala, that banyan tree, it will be having a main stem, woody stem, hard stem like this. This stem will be producing root system below the soil. Of course, this is the soil. Above this plant will be having very highly profused leaves and branches, everything. This is the banyan tree you might have observed. In the banyan tree, there are many branches I told you. You could have observed from those branches, there will be several rope-like structures hanging downwardly for differential length here. Remember this point. These are several rope-like structures hanging downwardly from the main plant body. Each may have different length. Some of them will be smaller, some of them may reach even up to the soil also, and they will be called, this is called root, called prop root system. This type of root is called as prop roots. Remember, what is the purpose of this prop root? They give extra support to the plant body. When banyan tree branches profusely, sometimes it may be branching even for 500 meters, 600 meters also. They are able to survive for several years, hundreds of years lifespan they have. Why this hundreds of thousands of years of lifespan is possible means they produce prop root. This prop root will be helping for mainly support. So because of that support, they can spread widely. Because of that wide spreading, they can produce large leaves, large number of leaves. Those leaves can undergo photosynthesis, they help for food production like that. So this is called prop root, we are telling. Remember students, prop root does not come under taproot system or it does not come under fibrous root system. It is an example for adventitious roots, remember. Why they are called adventitious root? Because they do not arise from the radical. If they arise from the radical, you can call them either as taproot or a fibrous root. They arise from the stem or branches actually. From the nodes they arise, they will go here. In Chennai and in Calcutta and all, we could come across big banyan tree which are living for thousands of years, we are telling. Those thousands, it will become a mini forest actually. Such a big tree, when it is growing prop root, after few years, we could not distinguish which is the main stem, which is the prop root, we could not distinguish. To such an extent, the prop root will become very strong and very longer, they will help for support and absorption. So that is prop root. What is the example for prop root? Banyan tree. Banyan tree biological name is Ficus bengalensis. Remember, Ficus bengalensis. That is the biological name of a fig plant or a ficus plant, it can be called. So I was telling you about various type of modification. Here for support we come across a prop root system. Let us come to the second type of supporting root, that is called a stilt root. This stilt root is also an example for adventitious root only, because they do not arise from the radical. Sir, where do we find the stilt root? Remember, in plants like sugar cane, we will come across stilt root. In plants like maize, sugar cane plant will be exhibiting this type of stilt root. Maize plant, you could have observed, they will exhibit stilt root. What is the speciality of this sugarcane and maize plant? You may remember, they do not have wide woody stem actually. They have narrow and slender stem like this. Sugarcane you might have observed, where there will be nodes present like this, and the distance between one node and another node, or this gap is called internode we are telling. Here the plant will be like this. Below the soil they will produce fibrous root system. Okay, this is the sugarcane plant. Sugarcane or maize also we can say. What happens in this sugarcane means, when they grow further and further, when they increase more and more in the length, to support that length so that the plant should not fall down. For protecting that plant, there will be supporting roots arising from proximal nodes like this. From the proximal nodes, we will come across thread-like roots here. You could have observed in the lower portions of the sugarcane, we could have come across some roots like this. They will be fixing the plant properly in the soil. As if we are fixing some antenna with some wires. Just like that, this elongated stem will be fixed into the soil by means of this type of root. Especially in which node means, these are called proximal node. The nodes which are nearer to the soil are called a proximal node. From there only we will come across stilt root. Remember, these are called stilt root. Dear students, prop roots are found in Ficus bengalensis. Stilt root are found in sugarcane. What is the biological name for sugarcane? Means saccharum. Remember the spelling, saccharum. Officinale, that is the species name we can say. Saccharum officinale is the sugarcane. It is exhibiting stilt root. Remember, Ficus bengalensis is the biological name of banyan tree. It is exhibiting prop root. Both are not arising from radical, so both are belonging to adventitious root only. What is the biological name for maize means? Z maize, it can be called. Zea maize or Z maize, that is the biological name of maize plant. You could have come across maize plant also, where the proximal node or lower node will be exhibiting stilt root. So, prop root and stilt root, they come for supporting purpose. These two are given as example in your textbook. In addition to that, let me tell you one more simple point also. There are certain roots called as climbing roots also. They also provide support for the plants. Climbing root. Where do we find this climbing root means? Climbing roots are present in the case of weak stemmed plant actually. The plants having weak stem, they will produce some roots from the nodes only, not from the radicle. They will help for holding the support. In a previous class also I would have told you, in grape vines or grape plant like that, even in the case of what is that, jasmine or pepper plant like that, the stem will be weak. Weak stem will be there. Okay? Imagine the stem of the plant is not strong like a banyan tree. They are having weak stem like this. This weak stem will have nodes and internode. From the nodes, we will get minute roots like this, which will catch hold of a support. If at all nearby a stone pillar or some other window or something is there, means they will catch hold of that support and they will grow. They are called climbing roots. So climbing roots can be found in weak stemmed plant like jasmine also, even in pepper also. So pepper, Piper nigrum is the biological name for this. Okay, Piper nigrum it can be called. Even you might have heard about what is that, beetle leaf. Eli antantivalla, eli adike. That eli or that beetle leaf, that is also exhibiting this type of climbing root. Piper betley it can be called. Piper betley. This is called beetle leaf. Beetle leaf. Okay, this is okay. That is, these are all exhibiting big climbing root. Climbing root can catch hold of a support so that stem can grow further in heights. That is climbing root, which are also known as clinging roots. They can be called clinging root also, because they catch hold of some support and grow further. All of them, the supporting roots all of them are adventitious roots only. They come above the soil, they don't below the soil, they don't present below the soil. They come above the soil, they are all adventitious roots, they are meant for supporting purpose mainly. So dear students, today I told you about modifications of root. Two major modifications we have seen. One is for the purpose of storage, another one is for the purpose of support. As far as storage is concerned, I told you tap roots can undergo storage, adventitious and fibrous roots can also undergo storage. In taproot storage, I told you three examples: conical, fusiform and napiform. Carrot, turnip, then what is that? This radish like that. Okay, we came across for fusiform radish, for napiform turnip, various examples we have seen. Then in the storage root only, I told you moniliform roots, grasses, fasciculated root, asparagus, remember this point. Then I told you leguminous roots, where pulses like different type of pulses, we come across leguminous root, tur dal and other things. Cicer arientum it can be called. Anyhow, leguminous roots are helpful for fixing the nitrogen as well as producing the protein like that. They are example for storage. Root tuber, sweet potato, very important. Without definite shape, sweet potato can store the food. So conical napiform will have definite shape, but a sweet potato will not have definite shape. Let me come to the second aspect, support. In support we came across three types. One is prop root, second one is tilt root, third one is climbing root. Prop root, Ficus bengalensis, banyan tree. Stilt root, sugarcane or maize, Saccharum officinale or zimase, stilt root. Climbing roots, pepper, Piper nigrum and Piper betley. Okay, they are all coming under climbing roots. What is the purpose of these roots? They are not meant for storage. They are meant for what is that? Support only. And when they are supporting, they are derived from adventitious root. There is no taproot support, only adventitious root support we can come across. Make note of these different terminologies. I think some 9 to 10 biological names you have heard from this class, today's class. Make a tabular column where you can write the name of that root modification and the example separately, so that whenever time permits, you can go on revising. It will be helpful for remembering also. So conical, fusiform, napiform, moniliform, fasciculated, root tuber and leguminous root. 7 types are over for storage. For support, prop root, stilt root and climbing roots. 3. 7 plus 3, 10 thing. For each one I told you examples also, 1, 1, 2, 2 examples. Remember those examples and modification. Still students, this modification is not yet over. There are some physiological modification exhibited by the root system, which we will see in the later classes. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Thank you.